Hi, welcome back to my channel, Zen and Fit. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you're new visiting my channel, welcome. Just as a reminder, this channel is not intended to provide any direct mental health treatment services. If you are in need of such care, I recommend connecting to a licensed therapist. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the biases that people encounter in workplaces and also just reviewing strategies of how to mitigate that or how to deal with that. So I'm going to just go ahead and jump right in. So there's a multitude of biases that exist in our world, I'm sure you're aware. So of course this is present or can be present in the workplace. There are biases, towards women, towards people of color, and especially for Black men and women, and Black women specifically. Like, for example, a woman may be working in a male-dominant workplace, and she notices immediately some of the implicit and explicit biases that staff and even management have towards her. The same thing can occur for Black people and communities of color. Have you ever noticed some form of hostility, maybe at a former place of employment or even at your current place where you're working? You may notice that the way your management team treats you is completely different than how they approach your fellow coworkers. This also relates to promotions and any type of job opportunities at your place of employment. Like, for example, some people may notice that, you apply for so many different promotions or supervisory jobs and, you're constantly overlooked, even though you have the experience, maybe the, vocational training or educational training and whatever, certifications or whatever is necessary in your field. But you're constantly always being overlooked for any kind of opportunities that are present when it comes to promoting. And there's no really legitimate reason behind that, especially when you're committing and, working, being on time or being even early at your job and even staying late. And you still are committing all this time, but it's still not paying off for you. So these microaggressions that you may be encountering at your job can, of course, be frustrating and overwhelming at times. But I think it's important to reflect that unfortunately we only have control over ourselves. We cannot control how people are going to perceive us or treat us because they carry their own biases that ultimately affect how they will basically treat you. It happens every day all across the world. But it's important for you, for your mental health and physical health, to remember that you only have control over yourselves, and you basically only have control of how you react and how you cope with these particular stressors. It's important to find constructive mechanisms in navigating some of these oppressive systems that we live in, and including the workplace. And so finding even constructive coping strategies to help deal with these stressors can be beneficial to you, whether that's setting boundaries of how much you expose yourself to a specific job, or maybe it's finding another place of employment if it's too overwhelming for you and it's basically toxic. Other strategies, if you can't leave your place of employment, maybe that's engaging in some form of, hobbies that you enjoy. That could be physical activity, exercise. For some people, they enjoy fishing or drawing or, watching some of their favorite TV shows. That's not too overwhelming. But engaging in constructive coping activities is overall going to help you be able to manage the stressors that you're encountering at a job, especially if you can't leave it. Another thing I wanted to discuss, aside from engaging in some form of coping activities, is also exploring therapy when you find that a place of employment is becoming so emotionally draining that it's affecting your mental health, where maybe you're becoming depressed or experiencing maybe some form of anxiety. Seeking out a licensed therapist can be beneficial, especially I'm speaking on for communities of color and for Black people, because you know just based on our history, there's been a lot of stigma when it comes to mental health and seeking out therapy services, but it can be beneficial for navigating these types of oppressive systems, and how to deal with it and manage it. So just something to think about when it comes to mental health. And also, another thing I did want to make note of is, of course, you probably have heard on the news how some people are utilizing the legal system to address disparities and how they're being treated at a job, which is, of course, typically from what I hear is, it can be a long process, but, that's also another strategy that some people choose to take if they feel like it's worth it in taking a stand. So overall, I think it's important, if you are currently encountering some form of microaggressions at your job, it's important for you to acknowledge that this is happening to you, because sometimes we will just try to deny that it's going on, or we'll try to repress it, which can have negative impacts on us, on our overall well-being. So even though we may not be able to control other people in the work environments and how they react to us or how they see us, we can find ways to navigate it. So I hope you found this video helpful in just reflecting on, the microaggressions and what can happen at a workplace, and acknowledging that, and also identifying ways to address it in a healthy manner. So if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, take care.